You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 131 of The Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Wednesday, May 31st, 2023, and it is a lovely day, again, as you can tell by the sun on my face, here at the Beaver Lodge, with temperatures expected in the low 20s today. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Wednesday morning nibble for you, kits, but first, the most important thing that we do on this show. Hello, Mr. Grizzly. How's your mental health today?
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. My mental health is great. I went to bed at 9 p.m. last night, so I slept well, very well. I mean, of course, typical for me, I'm very slow to wake up in the morning, but I am bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to rock and roll. It's going to be 32 here in Ottawa today.
Pardon?
It's going to be 32 here in Ottawa today.
Oh, whoa.
34 with Humidex. So, yeah, it's going to be... The humidity the last couple of days has been really low, like 22, 23%, which, as you know, for Ottawa is unbelievably low.
Low.
Yesterday was 23. Today it is 72.
There
exactly 7:07 a.m. Yeah, that's normal Ottawa. So I'm just checking it now, and it's like by 4 p.m. it'll be 32 degrees, and it's going to feel like 34. So the humidity is not extreme, but yeah, we're into the hot summer weather. Tomorrow it's going to be 33 tomorrow, and 31 on Friday. So yeah, we're into the hot summer weather, even though it's still technically only spring.
Yeah. Oh. I'm thankful for the lake right now. Oh boy,
yeah, that lake gives you that little cooling effect, right?
Yeah,
but it does give you the extra humidity come like late July, August.
Yes, and also sometimes in the winter.
Yeah, you get that. Yeah.
It's like it's 3, but it's only -3 outside. Yes, but it feels like there are knives going through my body.
Yeah, well, that's Ottawa in the winter because of the humidity here. But yeah, like honest to goodness, on the weekend when it hit 30 degrees. Humidity was only at like 21, 22%, which is astonishingly low for the Ottawa Valley. It's usually, 75. Sometimes it's 90, 92. Yeah, I've even seen it at 100%, and it wasn't raining.
Yep.
like, and my buddy's like, that's impossible. I go, this is Environment Canada, dude. 100% humidity. It's not raining.
Yep. Yes. 40 years lived in Ottawa. Very, very familiar.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see. The Alberta election, of course, happened, and it seems there are some hangovers.
Oh, of course there are.
For some reason, I don't know what it is with this type of movement, but winning gracefully is not really a thing. Don't know what it is.
What
But
did I miss? I
the day,
missed something.
well, here we go, Mr. Grizzly. The day after, like immediately, yesterday when we woke up, this was the first thing I saw. I'm Métis. My wife is Filipina. Yesterday, we voted for A.B. Danielle Smith and the UCP because we're fascist Nazi extremists who love freedom, hate real fascism, and are committed to keeping the WEF agenda out of Alberta. We are wrong thinkers. They're already whining.
Jesus Christ.
They've already started the next victim campaign. Fewer than 24 hours. That was May 30th at 9:15 a.m.
My
The
camera's
results.
gone haywire. Look. Ah! There we go. That's better.
The results weren't. The body wasn't even cold yet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, for us. And then, then we have Jann Arden, who's just basically.
What did Jann do?
No. She's been commenting throughout, but this was the one. Seriously, I can't wait to see how this shit unfolds.
She blocked me a while back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was during the height of the pandemic when seniors were dropping like flies in long-term care homes, and she was going on about horses being sent out of the country for food in other parts of the world. And she wants to put a stop to that. I'm like, that's great and all, but maybe you could lend your voice and your large audience to this message, because people are dropping like flies. And one of her followers tore into me. This is yeah. I'm like, I'm talking about human beings here. You're talking about horses that are being sent to other parts of the world for food. Yeah, it's terrible, but people need to eat, number one. And number two, human beings are dying in long-term care homes. Jann blocked me after that, so I have no use for her. I have no use for her at all after that. I'm like, lady, I'm talking about our elders, our seniors. They're dying in long-term care homes due to neglect by horrible provincial premiers. And I was blocked for that. I have no use for you.
I could see that.
She wants to apologize to me, and I do think I am owed an apology for that. I'll accept it. But until I hear from her otherwise, nope, sorry, Jann. Nope. I spoke up for seniors, and you blocked me because of it.
Interesting.
Look, I'll give it. There was probably a misunderstanding and a miscommunication in there somewhere, but I don't think I deserved a block for that. So it's like you are dead to me.
Gotcha. I have this other one from her as well, which was kind of interesting though, because it's the sentiment that
there you go.
Appeals to me there. But
Stop
so
live
perplexing
horse
to me,
export right there in the title.
Pardon?
Stop live horse export right there.
Yeah. So perplexing to me that because I basically cast my vote in an election, I'm being called at effin' see you next Tuesday and being told to stay out of politics. Absolutely unacceptable. Do these people have even the slightest notion of how far down the well they are? It's laughable.
Oh, I see eye to eye with her on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. And it's, here's the thing, right? I'll show you this one. There's a third one from her, and this one really illustrates it. And this is my attitude as well. Right? Some person wrote to her, it's because you advertised it. Keep it private and things like that can be avoided. When you advertise and promote it, you're inviting conflict. It's not like cheering for a sports team. People are divided, and let's hope it ends here now. And it's like, oh, keep my views private and you'll leave me alone. Yeah. Okay. No. They're not going to leave you alone. That's the whole point, right? And so they're saying, oh, well, we can't crack down on this because they might react or they might break things. They're going to react and break things no matter what.
It's irrelevant. Yeah.
So do the right thing.
Exactly.
Make the tough decision, make the tough call, because they're going to do it no matter what.
You know what they're telling her to do, what they told the Dixie Chicks to do, shut up and sing, which is not something that you can actually do.
Great tune, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Sounds wonderful, man. The melody is just so astonishing.
Been working on it for months.
Okay, let's do a duet. Let's do a duet.
Okay. Hey?
What do you think? Is that a hit song? I think that's a hit song. We just shut up and sang. We shut up. We shut it up. We
shut up and sang.
We shut up and sang.
Shut up.
Can you shut up? I'd rather shut up than shut down.
Oh man, I tell you. Then we have this. I don't know what it is about this movement, but they seem to not be happy unless somehow they are convinced that the prime minister is somehow
Satan.
No.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw that.
Or what? Right.
She's a real see you next Tuesday kind of gal, Andy Lee.
Yeah, the real Andy Lee. Has anyone checked in on Justin Trudeau? Is he doing okay? But it's like
he already congratulated her on her victory.
Right?
He congratulated Premier Daniel Smith like immediately afterwards.
Yeah, with total class, right? But it's like, has anyone checked in on? Is he okay? But they need to imagine him, right? It's like, Daniel Smith. They're like, that's what they need. It's like,
do you think he really gives a shit? No.
It's like,
why would he?
Dude, during the time he's been prime minister, he's gone surfing. He's gone bungee jumping with his kids. The dude is living his best life, and he really did.
He's not paying any attention.
I don't know what it is about you guys that you need to imagine him like in a. You remember that video, Hot for Teacher, Van Halen, where they had Waldo, and he's like,
yeah. That's definitely not him. He didn't give a shit. Senator Patrick Brazo said it best. You underestimate him at your own peril. Senator Patrick Brazo is an MMA black belt fighter and got his ass handed to him in the ring. Underestimate him at your own peril. I thought Brazo was going to whip his ass. I really did. I really thought he was going to whip his ass, and I was cheering for Brazo. I was like, oh, that smug little silver spoon punk's got to get a lesson taught. I learned something that night. He's not who I thought he was. And that's the truth. He's not who I thought he was. So I was guilty of prejudging. And I guess, probably up to that point, about a decade's worth of negative media spin had me starting to think he was who they said he was. Turns out, no, it's not the case.
So while they're all hoping that the prime minister is like this, seriously, that's the music that I thought. Waldo hot for Teacher.
Have you seen Junior's grades?
I got my pencil. Give me something to write on, man.
You hear the whiskey bottles dropping in the background.
Yes.
I got it bad. I'm hot for Teacher.
And that's the other thing on this one, right? Where they're talking about like all these people like grooming kids. I watched the video again. It's like there's a teacher that comes out at one point like this, and she's like on a runway, and I'll say like her sundress comes up, and she's like wearing a bathing suit with a slash with a beauty queen slash, and you got all these kids going wow like this. It's like, how did we ever survive? Because apparently in 1984 that was not grooming.
No. But have you noticed that since that time the amount of female teachers, female presenting teachers at the very least, have started having affairs with their male students? It's happened a lot. Like a lot. And here's the thing. That's sexual assault. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of guys will play it off as, I wish I had that happen to me when I was in high school. No, you don't. It's sexual assault when somebody in a position of power and authority that can exercise that over you and affect your future sexually assaults you, because that's what it is. Would I have liked to have been in that position at 15? There's definitely a 15-year-old boy internally that would say, yeah, hell yeah, if I had a hot teacher. But here's the thing, not really, because you're not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's abuse.
Yep. So we have a situation where, for example, an image like this back in 1984.
Totally normal.
Well, you got the teacher, it's like a cage, and she's like a jungle cat guarding it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all these kids, little dressed in prison uniforms, and that's a lot of thigh.
Yeah.
That's like Fox female news anchor thigh.
Mm-hmm.
You notice when they're sitting on the couch and they got their leg crossed, and like the thigh is just like barely covering the bottom of the butt.
She's got legs.
Right.
She knows how to use them.
So apparently that we survived that. But
Somehow.
then people got really upset because, well, this happened, Mr. Grizzly, on Twitter. They showed some image of Disney. They have one person who's a princess who obviously has a mustache.
Mm.
So people got, oh, Disney has a man in a dress working in the dress store for little girls at Disneyland. This is who Disney wants girls to see when they first walk in to pick out a dress. Kids don't care.
No, they don't.
Kids don't care. And, well, since we're talking about this, gee.
Yeah.
The Rock was the Tooth Fairy.
On skates, no less.
And we had Mrs. Duck. And then we have Tootsie.
Yeah.
In the 80s. And way back in black and white, some like it. How did we ever survive the decades? I mean, how did we survive as a species?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I think we're doomed. I think we're doomed.
What's wrong with these people? The kid doesn't care. Kid doesn't care. It's the same thing as when the kid asks you where babies come from for the first time. If you get all weird about it, that's what the kid learns, that you got to be weird about sex. If you just deal with it matter-of-factly, the kid wants to come and buy a princess. That kid didn't. You didn't see that kid stop and go like this. It's just like, yeah, I'm walking right in. Thank you very much.
If anything, they would have looked at the princess with the mustache and said, "It's Aunt Bunny."
Oh Lord, help me!
Oh Lord, help me, Lord Jesus, help me, Lord. Come give Aunt Bunny a kiss. I know. Why not? She's got a mustache.
Yes.
Hey, I think we turned out somewhat okay.
I think so.
Dame Edna,
getting back to
Mrs.
Alberta.
Brown, Mrs. Brown's Boys. It's an Irish show.
I've heard of the show. I've never actually seen it.
It's quite funny. Dame Edna, of course, and he just passed away recently.
Yes, indeed. Then, on a similar theme, but getting back to Alberta, we have Jay Gamble on Twitter at Dr. J Dr. No, putting out, I love that nobody is even pretending that MLA Shit Biscuit isn't already back in caucus. Bet she gets a portfolio. Shit Biscuit. And then somebody's Edmonton under Minister of Non-Federal Latrines and Septic Systems. Minister of Child Purity, Compliance, and Obedience. She will be definitely made Minister of Education. She'll end up getting Rebecca's old portfolio just because. I think we should email her a dozen homemade cookies to congratulate her. Perhaps the MLA should be Minister of Solid Waste. Minister of Purity and Highways.
Yikes.
Minister of Culinary Diversity.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, and here, kids, some friendly advice from us. If given the choice between being Shit Biscuit and Sea Biscuit,
I take the C.
Opt for Sea Biscuit. At least Sea Biscuit was a champion.
Yes, before he went to the glue factory, he was a champion.
Oh, man. Seriously. And then it seems that because Danielle Smith seems to have been pretty much wiped out
Mhm.
in Edmonton, it seems that Eastern Standard, but I heard it on
Yes, that,
mainstream radio too. But it seems that she has decided she will form a council of defeated UCP candidates from Edmonton to advise her because, well, she doesn't really have any reputation. So think of it a little bit. Remember the first election that Stephen Harper, quote
mhm.
unquote, won? And I say won in skippy air quotes because several years later, they actually pleaded guilty in court to having overspent in the
Yeah.
in and out after denying it vehemently for something like 6 or 7 years. And then when they were found guilty, it turns out that the money that they tried to keep from the fraudulent filings, well,
Mm.
they tried to keep that, even though they said give it back, and then eventually they gave it back. And then for a certain amount of in fines, fines to both the party and the Conservative Fund, that's what they pleaded guilty to in order to keep 4 people, 2 party operatives, and 2 senators, Doug Findlay and Irvin Gersting, out of jail. That was the first election they won. This party, like the UCP, has corruption in its DNA.
Oh, yeah.
This is what they were born from. They cheated to win the first election.
And they'll do it again and again and
Right?
again.
They pleaded guilty in court to it. And every day they're saying like this, oh, Justin Trudeau's so corrupt. They had a cabinet minister go to jail. The prime minister was the first prime minister in all of the Commonwealth to be found in contempt of Parliament. They've had aides like Bruce Carson and Arthur Porter also be convicted and go to jail.
That's brutal.
They had Senator Don Meredith, who's got charges for sexual stuff.
Yeah,
And everybody's like turning around and saying, Justin Trudeau's so corrupt. And I'm sitting there like, okay, you guys give me a call after the party pleads guilty in court to trying to steal an election, and they have cabinet ministers go to jail, and they have, well, anybody at all associated with the party on trial.
Who was it that sent dick pics to what he thought were 15-year-old girls?
Oh, Tony Clement. That's another one.
Yeah. They're like, well, he's like, I was scammed by some fellows in Nigeria. Yeah, but it turns out, Tony, you thought they were 15-year-old girls, you sick, twisted fuck.
That's the part that matters.
That's the part that really matters.
But I was scammed. Yes, but you thought when you didn't know, this is what you were doing with that other hand that you had as on speakerphone. Again.
Fuck that guy.
So it's like, yeah. Call us when the Liberals get that back, because right now we're busy.
Yeah.
We got time for it. But it's similar to when Stephen Harper in that first election did not get anybody at all in the Montreal area. So he had to import in Michael Fortier. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Took him in, made him a senator. Now, Michael Fortier at least was honorable because he said he would only be there as long as he needed to. And he actually did do that, that's rare in politics.
Mm-hmm.
That guy got a pretty rough ride too from the public. But yeah, apparently she's going to start a little. Smith told listeners on Tuesday she will have a good, strong team of advisors making sure that nothing gets missed in Edmonton. Okay. Good luck with that. And then we have Handmade for Take Back Alberta. Or you could just listen to the representatives that Edmonton actually elected rather than those they rejected. Yeah, it's going to be a long 4 years, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. And, of course, while this is going on, of course, Pipi Le Poulièvre sent out his congratulations to Danielle Smith. And I'm assuming he's going to be inspired by this. And I'm assuming, the way that she was delivering that victory speech, it's almost like, and given that we know that he has some associations with some people that we can consider underground. If Take Back Alberta has Danielle Smith's boss for all intents and purposes, and now that she only has like a 5-seat majority, and there's about 6, like people were celebrating, right? There's 6 MLAs in Alberta that are gone. So like Casey Madhu and Jeremy Nixon and all of them, except those seats still went to the UCP. So those 6 seats are replaced with Take Back Alberta sponsored. So let's see, 49 minus 6 is 43. So that puts you in minority territory, but put one as a speaker to save your bacon. That leaves you at 44. But that's, of course, assuming none of the other 43 of the seats are occupied by Take Back Alberta. But, and let's do the math. Wow, that seems bloody fucking unlikely. So,
yeah.
it seems maybe the dynamic shifted. I have a feeling that Danielle is going to be calling the shots, to which PP is dancing to. And given that Danielle has no problem turning out a dime on someone and shoving a shiv from the front.
Not even from the back, she just smiles at you as she stabs you in the chest.
But Danielle has that Christine Anderson thing. Remember when Christine Anderson came, and then Pierre Poliver rejected her in order to save the middle, and then she said, I'm going to take you down.
Well, did he reject her though? Not officially.
But no, not officially, but it was enough to set her off.
Enough
to trigger her. She hasn't been the same since. Let's put it that way.
I am troubled by this. We did our damnedest to warn as many people in Alberta to not make the same mistake we made in Ontario. And to a degree, the message got out there. And I don't think it had anything to do with us. But the message was out there in the sense that 63% showed up to vote, which is still pathetic, but it's a 20% increase over Ontario. But they made the same mistake that Ontario did. And it's going to be a long 4 years for Alberta. It's only been a year in Ontario, and we're already crumbling because the foundation's been destroyed, so you can put pretty things on top of it.
Right. And, it's, how would I put it? It's not as big a win as people would think.
No.
Because
it's not.
Yesterday, we didn't have time to go through it all, but we looked at one riding. I think it was Calgary Acadia, I believe it is, that had been won by like 7 votes, I think was the difference, which will definitely be going into recount. But there were about, I think, the 6 ridings, electoral districts, that were the closest. I think a total of something fewer than 1,200 votes, I believe it was.
In the
when you count those 6 ridings, was the difference between.
That's a super tight race, man.
So that's a super tight. There we go. I've got it right here. Found it. There we go, Mr. Grizzly. I'll put it up.
You had it, and there it is.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So when we say every vote matters, we do every vote. We lost Calgary North by 113 votes. Calgary Northwest by 149, Calgary Bow by 385, Calgary Cross by 518, Calgary East by 701, and Lethbridge East by 745. 2,611 votes to make government.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's not futile to engage non-voters.
And this is why democracy is something you do. Look, 113 votes is the difference in Calgary North. 113 people. That's the patio on a Friday at the pub. Hell, that's the patio on any summer day in the, all you got to do is exercise your democratic right. We need to make it a civic duty. I believe personally it is your civic duty. It is your right. It's not a privilege. It's a right in Canada. But I believe it's a civic duty. It's a privilege to vote in many countries, but in Canada, it is your democratically protected right that people fought for. I mean, during the feudalism times, which we're rapidly heading back towards, if you look at what's going on with landlords, how they murder people, and people come to their defense and say it's tough out there for a landlord.
Yeah. yesterday we were celebrating a first in that Rhiannon Hoyle. Oh, yes, please. Yep. Rhiannon Hoyle became the first Black MLA in Alberta history in 2023. Well, there was also 3 Indigenous candidates who won. 2 First Nations candidates were elected in Edmonton and 1 in rural Alberta, according to APTN News. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my spot here. We have 2 Indigenous candidates as MLAs in this province. That is huge. This is a win for our communities. Brooks Archambault, a newly elected MLA for the New Democratic Party, told APTN News. Archambault is from the Alexander First Nation. He says, this will be a strong voice to ensure that every single Albertan, whether they are Indigenous, whether they are queer, whether they are members of the communities that require diversity and inclusion, we will speak with them on their behalf. And so that was a good one. And the candidate for Lesser Slave Lake, Scott Sinclair, also identifies as Indigenous and won his seat. So that is good. And then a newly elected MLA, Jody Calahoo Stonehouse, who previously sat on the Edmonton Police Commission, said that she enjoyed her time campaigning, not only in her own riding, but across the province. And she won as well. So there you go. The UCP was shut out of Edmonton, losing their 1 seat, held by scandal-plagued Casey Madhu, who was removed from his seat as Justice Minister by former Premier Jason Kenney after investigation found that he phoned the Edmonton Police Chief Dale McPhee to discuss a $300 distracted driving ticket for March 2021. So that happened too. That's probably a good one to go. But of course, the black guy.
The black guy, yeah. Like my pink accent, late.
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. That's the whole thing. Wait a minute. Why are they saying that Rhiannon Hoyle was the first black person elected? I guess Casey Madhu did.
Black female.
Black female. Sorry, yes, not black person.
Yeah, because Casey Madhu is definitely not my complexion.
Sorry, there I had a mental speed bump there for a second.
It happens. It happens all the time. I get them daily. I'm blacking out in the middle of the day. Coach, I'm having blackouts again. Kind of a nice break in the day, isn't it, Sam? Remember that from Cheers? No? Maybe not.
I don't remember that.
Did I reach too far back into the grab bag?
No, I remember Cheers, but I don't remember that line.
No, that's what I meant. Yeah,
because somebody a couple of the days ago while we were on the show, somebody said somebody needs to really be yelling Norm at some point when we arrive. And I was thinking that same thing. It was really funny because literally the day before that comment appeared, while we were rehearsing on stage, I walk in the door something like 4 or 5 different times during that play, and it's like, could somebody just say Norm once? Norm.
I'll get the staff to do that at the pub and just yell Paul. How you doing, Mr. Atkinson? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear.
Woohoo!
How you doing, Mr. Atkinson? Well, I was thinking about what I would do between now and my second beer, and I decided I think I'll have a first. There's just some great Norm Peterson quotes.
So yes, we have first a black woman and first Indigenous woman, which is Jody Calahoo Stonehouse elected
in Alberta, the first 2 in 2023. That's embarrassing, Alberta. Get your shit together.
Yep.
Hey, I'm not saying we're any better here in Ontario. Okay, I'm not. Please do not think I'm being smug when I say that. We have a shit ton of work to do in this province as well.
Oh yeah.
I do not take that as me being a smug Ontario elitist prick. Well, first off, I'm not elitist. Maybe a prick, but I'm not elitist because I'm working. I'm a working class stiff. But don't think that's me being smug. It isn't. We have a ton of work to do here when it comes to representation and equity. I mean, come on, people. It's 2023. Let's get it together. I'm tired of seeing guys who look like me lead this country because, quite frankly, they've not been doing a very good job, especially across the prairies. Scott Moe, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Come on. Well, and here's the epitome of white privilege when it comes to that guy. He has, 3 DUIs and he killed a person.
Yep.
And he was still elected premier.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Growing up, they're like, well, if you get a criminal record, you'll never amount to anything. Then there's Scott Moe. Come on.
Yeah. So just to give them a little extra visibility here, Mr. Grizzly. Here we go. Rhiannon Hoyle, Jody Calu Stonehouse.
And damn, those are some poses. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jody is like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yep.
And Rhiannon's like, don't you dare underestimate me or underestimate me at your own peril. I mean,
on looks alone, if I was like caught in a back alley in a bad situation,
I'm out.
Sisters, please.
You can step forward. I'll step to the background. You can go, kick some ass.
They look like they mean business.
Well, you know damn well they must, because in order to ascend to the position that they did in that province, they were up against it, right?
Yeah.
So those are some serious ladies who I will guarantee you have worked their butts off to get where they are. Because, come on, right?
Yep. I'm right there. I'm right there with you. In other news, of course, we have PP, who decided to come back to the Governor General thing and Special Rapporteur and not wanting to be exposed to intelligence thing, and posted this, "I will not be silenced. Canadians will hear the truth" thing. And I will not be silenced. It's like, nobody wants you silenced, but we wouldn't hate it if you would voluntarily just shut the fuck up every now and then. You don't have to swing at every pitch.
Or at least
Canadians will hear the
truth.
It's like, not from your mouth, honey. You lie like you breathe.
If you said something of value that added to, I don't know, something positive in this country, okay, fine, I invite that. And look, the old saying, a broken clock is right twice a day. He's not been right on a damn thing ever. Not once. History will judge that man very poorly.
Yep, indeed. I know that we have to wrap up soon, so there was something I was going to present, but I don't think we have time to finish it, so I won't start it. I'll save it for tomorrow.
Okay.
And instead, I will show this. This is an image. I'm thinking that maybe Kit Saucy took it herself, but it's from her feed. So I'm going to put it up. I see that Saucy's in the chat today, so you can tell us if this is your own picture.
Wow.
But that's Nova Scotia.
It's like, okay, if you look just at the sky, ooh, look at the pretty sky. Oh, shit.
That's pretty red.
Good.
Okay, Kit Saucy says, not my picture.
No.
Okay, but this is there's a genuine fear it could possibly hit the town of Shelburne. All of this caused by 3 men burning tires in the woods at night during a burn ban, which had Premier Houston going ballistic. He is like, no ATVs in the forest, no camping, no nothing. It's all stopped.
Well, let's drive it on home. Okay, so my colleague who moved with his family to Halifax, the Halifax area, 2 years ago to open up the East Coast branch for CBCI Solotech, is a company that I've worked with in the past. He moved there to open up that office, and yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I should say, he lost everything. They had to be emergency evacuated, his house, all of his belongings. He's okay. His wife and children are okay, but they've lost everything.
Yep.
Everything. Yep. And it's like, I'm sure he's probably going through that emotional thing of, I did this for my family, and now look. Like, I've got no doubt that he's felt that emotion. I moved my family here. I did this. This is on me. You're going to have that guilt complex, right? Because, and he's a really good person. So I'm feeling, like I said, we used to work together a lot. We don't anymore, but good guy, and I really feel bad for him. And I hope somebody started to GoFundMe, which I think they've already surpassed the goal. Within less than 24 hours, they surpassed the goal. It was just to try and get some money to him immediately.
Yeah.
Because when you lose everything, it's like,
Yeah.
Well, think of the process of okay, now just starting to make the insurance claims.
Right.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, indeed.
Because he's got nothing to reference unless it's all backed up in the cloud. But he's got his identification. He can go to the insurance company, but still, it's going to be months before anything is cleaned up. Where will they stay between now and then is a good question. Who knows?
Yeah.
I know that something like 200 homes, if not more, have already been lost to the fire. And there is a backlog of 6,000 people in the province waiting for housing. So you've just now 200 families are without homes.
Yep.
So it's just adding to the problem.
Yep. Exactly. There's about 14,000 people have been evacuated from their homes due to wildfire northwest of Halifax. There's a new wildfire that has started as well in the area. People have received a warning to evacuate with like 30 minutes notice. So have everything packed and have it by the door and get ready to be going. Like I said, about 200 or last number I had officially was over 150 homes are gone, but that may have been last night before going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And no rain in the forecast until Friday.
Yeah, so that's not good.
That's
not
good.
PNC Bio's comment. Climate change is a hoax. Halifax was always catching fire when I grew up. Exasperated, sarcastic face because this didn't happen.
Yeah. As Kit Saucy saying, 200 in Halifax, unsure how many are gone in Shelburne, Barrington. And then over the course of the weekend, things were getting better in Alberta, but over the course of the weekend, it sparked up again with about 7 or 8 new blazes, likely caused by lightning, starting between Saturday and Sunday afternoons. So again, Kits, if you have the ability to please donate to the Red Cross. And I haven't heard anything about the Red Cross appeal expanding to other provinces than Alberta at the moment. But yeah. I mean, we've had fires in every, it's not even June yet, and there's been fires in every province. I'm not sure if there's been in any Northern Ontario reported yet, but from Manitoba East and the Northwest Territories.
And
Nova Scotia.
We usually get them in Northern Ontario, June, July. I've not heard of any yet. It doesn't mean that hasn't happened, right?
Yeah.
But I've not heard of any yet. But just, give it time.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Kits, we had other stuff. We had stuff about people being at committee, being asked about foreign interference. We have stuff about a potential gay conversion therapy camp in New Brunswick. We have Celine Cancer Tour, lots of stuff. But except so much news, we can't get to it all. So hopefully we'll be able to get to a couple of those in the coming days. But I think we have a show for today, Mr. Grizzly, don't we?
Yes, we do. I just wanted to include this little footnote, if you will. I'm going to put the link. It's a film that is in theaters June 2nd, and it's called, I'm going to put a link to the trailer in the chat here. Name of the film is called Bones of Crows, the epic account of the life of Cree matriarch Aline Spears that spans generations. It's about the residential schools. It's a 100-year story. Just watch the trailer. The link is in the chat. Watch the trailer. It will stir emotions. And this is a film I really want to see, but I need to make sure I'm right in the right headspace to watch it, because if it's not a film you go in and just munch popcorn and like a Marvel film and you just enjoy it for the sake of. This is not a film to be, and I'm going to put this in quotation marks, enjoyed. It's a film you need to take in and watch and let it sit with you, take it home, and then talk to people.
Okay. And I'm going to throw one in for you as well, Mr. Grizzly, if you could put up. It's the trailer to the movie Golden Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden Delicious is the film that was directed by Jason Carman, who will be our guest on Friday. So if kids wanted to take a look at the trailer beforehand to get an idea of the movie and to raise some interest in the interview, well, there it is. All right. That's our show. And that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. We hope you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please let your peeps know about us. And because democracy is something that you do, please, again, if you can donate to the Red Cross, it's really, really important. If you like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are definitely appreciated. We love to hear from you, so please reach us on our Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.ca. And if you would like to subscribe to us to make sure that you do not miss an episode at all, that we come to you as soon as we have something fresh off the bandwidth, well, then you can do that at our pod page. You go to podpage.com/The True North Eager Beaver with a hyphen between each one of those words in lowercase letters, and that way you will not miss anything whatsoever. There you go. And as well, if you are happen to be watching on our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel, well then, please make like Elaine and smash that button. We really, really appreciate that. And if you could subscribe as well, that would help us big time. If you want to encourage us to do more because you like what we do, and well, we can't do it without your kind and generous support. So if you click on that little QR code up by my head, that will bring you to our coffee fund.
That's the subscribe button I'm pointing to.
Yes, I know, but I'm talking about the other one.
This one right here.
Yes, that one. So yes, the lower one you see is to subscribe to our pod page. The one by Mr. Grizzly's head now is the one for our emergency hot chocolate Guinness, Caesar. What else? Farm Boy gluten-free chocolate chip ice cream cookie fund. That's our staff. We got to keep. It's inflation for everyone. We got to pay them. They work very hard for us. So
I'm staff, by the way.
I'm
staff.
Work with me here. So if you just click on, if you just scan that little squiggly there, that will bring you to our coffee page. And if you are listening, you go to coffee. That is spelled ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, all in one word, lowercase letters. And that's where you can make your donation, just like Kit Tavied yesterday. Thank you for your show and your community. Thank you, Taffy G, for your presence. We see that you're here today, and thank you for your gift. We really, really appreciate the encouragement. Thank you so much. Mel goes, "I'd work for ice cream." I've done far worse than work for ice cream. Well,
we're not. Nope, not gonna go there.
I will do things for ice cream and cookies, and if you give me ice cream and cookies at
no,
I am a very, very weak beaver. Very, very weak beaver.
Okay.
From the Beaver Lodge, this is your eager beaver saying, until next time, dear kids. It could be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. And if it's hot where you are, have some ice cream, if you can. Not everybody can, but if you can, please. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us before we go?
Not exactly words of wisdom, but starting Monday with a campaign for the fundraiser to shave my beard and raise money for Cornerstone Cornerstone Housing for Women will begin on this Monday. I'm going to reach out to Dean, maybe see if he's available Friday. I can hop on his show to promote it a bit. I will post some photos and bidding prices on Twitter either today or tomorrow, depending upon my schedule, and on my Facebook page as well, so that we can promote this and try and raise some money. And remember, I will have a different style each day, and then Friday I will have the Salvador Dali, and I'll wear it for 5 full days, and that will be 5 working days. So I'll have to wear it right through the weekend, and then 5 days next.
Ooh.
Look, I'm going to look foolish for a week and change, basically 2 weeks, 10 working days, basically, to try and raise some money for a very worthy cause here in the nation's capital and Centertown area that really had a difficult time during the pandemic. And then, of course, just as they were allowed to go back into the shelter and go back to work and help people, the occupation took place and they were hassled horribly and it just taunted and tormented and threatened. And I have no place for any of that. You're threatening women who are in a perilous position, who have gone into a shelter to escape domestic violence, amongst other things, and you treat them in this manner. You know what I have to say to you? I will go full blue jacket on you because you deserve that wrath.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So yes. Next Monday is the start of the campaign. I will I'm going to reach out to Dean, see if I can hop on his show. I don't know if he's got a show today or tomorrow because I know he's in Vegas for work.
Right.
But I'll reach out to him and see what we can do to try and drum up some words and PR to raise money for this worthy cause.
All right. Well, Mr. Grizzly, please, let's roll them credits.
I gotcha.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Hey there, just because the kits keep on giving us some news as well in the chat. If you are living, I'm not sure which province, Tabby G, but if you are living between Hornpain and White River, the highway there is intermittently closed, so please be careful and keep your eyes out for that. If you need to be using it, please listen to the traffic reports wherever you can. And Kit Linda M reports that the Ontario Health Coalition is holding a press conference at 10 a.m. to announce the results of the privatization referendum. I know that in Kingston area, about 10,000 people voted and it was about 98% against.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure whatever the numbers are, that's going to come out overwhelmingly against it.
Yes, because it's a voluntary referendum, but it's going to be the number of people that showed up that matter.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, kids. Have a great day.
See you.